What's up, everybody? It looks like we got another ZedRun update. And, they've been doing so much better with communication since they've started expanding their team. And I think it's important that, even though they might not be addressing everything that we want right away, that we do appreciate their efforts and their continued growth. And we take the time to tell them thank you. Boots, I'll link his Twitter profile in the description, but he has a Zed appreciation tweet thread going. So I encourage everybody to go over there and kind of, say what they can appreciate about Zed, because it's really easy to tear it down. We spend a ton of time beating up the team, and I think it's also important that we pat them on the back when it's due. And getting these continued updates, I think, is pretty good. And there's also one thing in it, because I did pre-read it, that really shows that they are paying attention. But so this is going to be a product and UX update, so it's mainly quality of life stuff. None of it's ground changing. They did add their own tournament screen within the ZedRun website. Now you can see historical tournaments, historical races. It's a much smoother transition to look up previous data. It's kind of a pain in the butt to get to now, but just because it's a couple extra clicks, right? We're pretty spoiled. Why click more? But it's good to see them making this a thing. And when there's 2 tournaments going on like there is right now, maybe we'll show you here in a second. But there's a new tournament page. Team's going to be doing periodic upgrades throughout the month of March. Event timeouts. This is something they talked about before. So essentially, when a horse sits unfilled, or when a race sits unfilled for too long, they will deprecate the race. The horse will be able to be used again, and the entry fees will be returned to the owner. So, this is mainly an issue in higher buy-in races, especially in the higher classes where, a monster horse might jump into a race a little bit too early and scares everybody off. And, just sits unfilled for 6, 12, 24, 48 hours. I know I jumped into a race pretty early. It was a $10 buy-in in class 4, 1,200 meters, and it did not fill for 18 hours, I think. So it's an issue across the board, definitely more so probably in class 1 and class 2. Let's see, they're going to be adding more event filters. So that way it's easier to filter to find what kind of races you're looking for. Autogate Selector. They're going to deploy it in phases, and the first phase only for free racing. So I can't go into much detail, but I did get invited to sit down and look at what the Autogate Selector could look like and exactly what that path would be for entering races, along with potential filters. And I think they're moving in the right direction. But I also wanted to say this, that there was several people in the community that did get invited to take a look at some of the prototypes and some of the workflow that would go into some of these updates. And they got community feedback from different players. Whether they're the right players or not, who knows? Like, I don't race 600-700 times a month, so I might not have been the best candidate to look, but they are getting feedback and they are sampling things and testing things before they just throw it out to us. And I can say I can definitely appreciate that, because I know it didn't feel like that before, but it is happening because I was physically a part of it. So Conditional Races, this is something that we've been talking about. It was in a teaser last year that, this is something that they wanted to implement. So Conditional Races being something like sub 5% win rate, ranging from class 3 to class 6, which I think is good. I don't think you need to have a poor performing horse in class 1 or 2 for any reason. So it's good that they're kind of limiting that a little bit. And then I know they also teased something about 0% win rate horses before too. And they're just trying to make it to where more horses have a home and people can just kind of play for fun. And just get more horses on the track, right? Because burn feature is on the roadmap for this year, And the last thing we want to see is 70% of the horses burned because they can't compete, because that just makes the landscape even harder. And it's only gotten extremely harder every single month dramatically since like November. So we're at a point now to where you have to have a really good horse to survive. Pause surface preference. I know this is a major concern for a large part of the community. Once again, proof that they are taking feedback, they are paying attention. They might not be moving as quickly as we like, but there's progress, right? And that's all we can ask for. So then we also have safety and security. No, this is a huge one. 2 more stables. They got horses stolen from them. I don't know the details of how it went down. I think it had something to do with a fake ZedRun website, but I'm not 100% sure. And I've seen this with fake OpenSea sites in the past. It sucks. It's scummy, but never be in a hurry. Every mistake I've ever made in ZedRun was being in a rush, whether it was mistiming the market and I wasn't patient and I just want to spend my ETH, and I didn't wait another week to see what would happen, or I saw a horse that I just had to have even though it was a little bit overpriced. Bought a project without doing my diligence, sold a project too early without doing my diligence. Everything always happened in haste. And yes, I know we're all trying to make some money at this game and have a good time, but none of it's worth losing your account over. None of it's worth losing, all your crypto assets over, all your NFTs. Or we saw recently 2 Genesis horses sold for 0.032. I believe it happened this month because somebody was trying to list in a hurry. So let's go into the tournament page real quick. So as you can see, you have this one. That's the quarterfinals. So if you can click here, you can see all the horses that are in it, the current positions. You got your total prize pool, and gives you your last updated time, so it's no longer guesswork whether or not the website's recognized your last races you've run. And then the current one going on. So this is the current tournament. And so that way you can kind of see. And I know they want to make it, it was very clear in a conversation that Jay did on Zook's show, that they want to make it to where you have to choose what you're going to miss out on. Right now, racing is in such a way, even with the Premier Cup going on in Class 1, that you don't have to choose that, right? You can just race in anything that you absolutely want to, and there's no drawback or side effect to that. And I like the idea of having to pick, what you're gonna race in, based on how well you know your horse, right? But so I'm just putting a couple things in stud real quick for the stud barn, because this month we are doing a little bit different of a giveaway. It's a little bit more juicy. So for those of you not familiar, I'll put the link to the stud barn in the description. But we run a stud programs incentivized service. So when you use the stud barn and buy any cover, 1 cover X is 1 entry into our raffle. That entry is then drawn at the end of the month, and we give away an unraced, unnamed, unbred horse. And then those entries will then roll into the lifetime raffle the following month. So essentially, this is going to be this month's giveaway horse. It's a Z7 Nakamoto exclusive. It was bred with a Z2 Genesis Stallion proposed. And so proposed hasn't been a consistent breeder, but does have a couple standouts. So I went ahead and bred with it. But to win this Z7 Nakamoto exclusive, all you have to do is buy a cover from the stud barn. Little Ollie sold out. I just put our Salazil back in. He has 1 cover left. The other Genesis have a couple covers left. But any stud, it doesn't matter if it's the exclusives, it doesn't matter if it's Genesis, Legendary, all of them qualify. And for the remainder of the month, we'll be putting everything in as soon as it's ready for a stud. We're not going to be holding anything back. Some of these horses, like Little Ollie, will be put on reserve and not put into stud barn every single month, being a lower Z exclusive once the breeding update changes, right? Because horses won't be able to breed forever anymore without penalty. So horses like this, Little Ollie is a Zion baby. So stuff like that will get put into a different stable and only come out to play occasionally. So just something to think about. This is kind of how I'm building out the program. I want a combination of potentially decent breeders with other horses that fit different molds. Like Hustle Up's a pretty good sprinter, Zabo Legendary. Mom Thought has top 5 percentiles in 4 distances, I believe, including sprints and 2,000 and 2,200 in the last 90 days. And we know time isn't everything, right? So yeah, I'm just trying to mix it up, try to give people options. That's this month's giveaway horse. I have not bred the horse for the lifetime users yet, but that is coming. And then real quick, while we're here, Class 1 Premier. Let's look at the rankings real quick. So Class 1 Premier, this is the Class 1 only race. I didn't look into the details of it too much, so we'll probably partner with somebody else to break it down because I don't race in Class 1. I have one horse that likes to touch there a little bit, and then she kindly comes right back down. But right away you can see Arbitrage and his partners sitting at the top. You got Ducky Malin. It's cool to see Ducky at the top for a change. Of course, Billions in the sprints. And yeah, so this is going to be really exciting. I'm very third head at mid. Looky there. Diamonds, Chromic Therapy. Definitely see some horses that we recognize. I'm most excited to see how this all plays out in like the finals format, because there's not going to be a whole lot of Z17 upsets, right? Like lately we've been seeing some things where like a Z17 will push out, a Grandor or a Breathless Edge and beat her and doing beat her and things. But this is kind of like almost like the original tournament where the best of the best get to come to play. And I think it's exciting. This is like an all-star game where they actually play to win. So I'm excited to see all these top names kind of go head-to-head at it. And kind of see if there's any gamification, what kind of strategy there is. So, and then for those of you who didn't see, Princess of Power is now co-owned by Galactic Farms. So very, very big horses, changing names, very big stables, mixing it up. And I can't wait for team jerseys, because there's a couple stables that I'd be rocking the jerseys and different horse names that I'd want on the back. So whoever's savvy with clothing, just a little tidbit and teaser. That's something I'm looking for. And hit me up, because I will be happy to partner with you and get that rolling. But that's pretty much all I have today. I just want to go with a quick quality of life update, let you guys know that I have seen some of this stuff. They are surveying members through the community and taking a look. The Zed team is making progress. They are listening to the community. They are doing a good job. I'm playing with stuff while I'm recording. I should be doing that. Biggest giveaway we've ever done with the Z7 exclusive in the stud program. And yeah, I just appreciate everybody coming on. Appreciate all the support. And till the next one.